Okay, so today we changed these front shocks and the ABS wheel sensor. This is wire right here. It comes around, it goes in. Right there. That's it, right in the middle there. Anyhow, the other one, old ABS wire, was rubbing for some reason. I'm not sure why, but it rubbed through right there and broke the ABS wires. Not sure how well that's going to come out. There we go. Alright, so this is the part that goes inside the wheel housing itself. It's the speed sensor portion. The other end is just an electrical plug. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's two little holes in there that receive a prong from the other end behind the frame. Anyhow, so on this little copper brass is copper, I think. It's a copper case that goes on it. And the way it goes on is you're supposed to grease this up, grease that up. You slide that in the wheel housing where this goes. You slide that in, it kind of compresses a little bit, and then you put a little grease on here that comes with it, and you just slide it in. You got to slide it all the way in because there can't be too much of a gap, otherwise the speed sensor won't read right. So you got to make sure you get it set all the way in. After that's done, and you can see this one's kind of corroded, been in there a while, probably the original speed sensor. So anyhow, all that comes in the kit. You get the little grease deal, and yeah, it comes with that. Anyhow, so down here, if you follow this wire, all you gotta do is re-secure it to everything with little zip ties, right? And make sure it's not rubbing on anything. It follows the air line. It goes to the frame rail here. It goes through the frame, and right about here on the other side of the frame is where it snaps in together. It just plugs together. It's not a big deal. But on that side, you just want to make sure you secure it all so nothing's rubbing, nothing chafes. Other than that, that's all there is to an ABS speed sensor. I mean, I'll figure out what the cost was, and I'll let you know what that is on there. But they're not real expensive, but you know, and it takes 15 minutes to do. And then as far as the shocks go, the shocks are real easy. I mean, it's a bolt and a nut. The top has 3 washers. The bottom has 2 washers. It's 1 1/8 inches for both of them. You know, I use my impact wrench. Awesome. Took care of it. Takes a couple of minutes to do. Really, it's a one-person job. It's simple enough to do. Anyone can do it. So again, this is all we did. It's just a bolt and a nut on the top and the bottom. They're real simple to do. We replaced these with Monroes. I've had a lot of luck with the Monroes on the back end, but the ones that were in here were total crap. They've been on there less than a year, and we ate out the urethane bushings at the top end of the shock up here, in between here, and I'll show you that right now. So these are the ones that were on there. These are the last ones I put on. It was about a year ago I put them on, and they're Meritor standard duty shock, all lift, or all fit, excuse me. That's what I got from the shop and our company shop, and they're like, yeah, this is what you need, and they turned out to be a piece of crap. Because less than a year, this is what happened to the urethane at the top. They're just not a good shock to me. I mean, I don't know. They're so easy to compress. I feel like it's just running crappy. Yeah, these Meritors are, yeah, I would never buy these. I would tell someone to run away. Keep whatever you got if that's your only option. So yeah, so these Monroes, I had these, I put these on, not this set, but the set before this set, at about 490,000 miles. We just replaced these 2 months ago, so we're right about 1.1 million. So we got, you know, 500,000 miles, a little over 500,000 miles out of a set of Monroes on the back. I mean, the top bolts were so rusted. In fact, all the bolts, they were on here so long that all the bolts had to be cut out with a torch because we couldn't break them loose. There was no way to break them loose. They took the biggest impact wrench they had, could not break them. They got one to come off. They got one nut off and could not bang it out because it was rusted solid all the way through. So yeah, they ended up having to cut them off. So, and they were actually doing pretty good. I had, the shocks were still working properly. The sleeve on the outside was rusting through and wearing away from the road grind, the salt, and all the crap on the road. But the shock was still functioning properly. I had one leaking on the other side. It had a real small leak, and that's why I decided to change them. That's really the reason we decided to change them. The performance was great. I can't recommend them high enough. Seriously, they were awesome. Anyhow, so we did those, I guess it was 3 months ago. And I love these shocks, man. I mean, they're seriously, that's why we went with the Monroe on the front. And we'll never put that Meritor crap on there ever again. Anyhow, so yeah, shocks are easy. A nut and a bolt on top and the bottom, and you're done. At least on a Freightliner Century.